This is my man, Terry Heller, nephew of the infamous, legendary Jerry Heller.
All right,
and me and this brother right here, we got some history. So you know what? Let's just jump right into it, man. Talk to me about managing will.i.am before he was will.i.am. Take me back. What year was that?
Shoot. I think that was 91. I met Will at a 18 and over club, which really didn't exist.
Right.
Called Ballistics. You remember that?
I remember Ballistics. Was that with like David Faustino in there?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the first club, I think, that I can remember in LA that had white kids, black kids, Hispanic kids, like all kinds of kids. You had the actor rich kids. Mm-hmm. You had like the rapper kids. You had kids from all over LA coming together once a week at this spot called Ballistics. It was on Highland. I forget the address. I want to say like 841 or 846. Mm-hmm. And you know, I met Will. Will was a dancer.
I remember that.
And Will liked the freestyle.
Yeah.
So one night I'm there, and I see this kid get on stage, and he just, you know, it's easy now to imagine he must have been great.
Right.
But there wasn't a lot of people checking for him. I mean, people thought he was talented, but there was this guy up there, and you know, he'd wear knickers, and he didn't look like what 90s rappers look like.
90s West Coast rappers.
Right.
You know, that's the whole NWA era, the whole gangster rap. So
exactly.
Will and those guys were looking completely different.
Yeah, they look like Jungle Brothers, right?
Absolutely.
So at the
More
time,
backpack rappers than like throwing up the W.
Right. So that was somewhat odd.
Right.
But not just that. I mean, you had guys like Farside and Freestyle Fellowship and these guys around LA. However, they were on another level of style and their look. And they were just super, super innovative and creative. So I met Will. I never forget. I just approached him and I handed him my business card, my Ruthless Records business card. I said, man, you are incredibly talented. Let's try to rap tonight. Let's talk.
Right.
So he goes, all right, when I'm done here. So after the club ended, we met and we went in my Mustang 5.0.
I remember that.
I was hot shit back then.
Yeah.
And we sat in the car and it was just like, look, man, you're the future. And you know, you're incredible, you're talented. I never heard a song. I just saw his energy, his charisma, and I was just blown away. And after that, we started talking. And my goal was not even so much Ruthless Records, but I was always trying to figure out how to get myself put on, you know?
Right.
Being like a nephew of Eazy, being like he was like a relative to me.
Right.
Jerry was my relative.
Right.
I couldn't get out of there quick enough.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was so appreciative of the opportunity, but they were paying me like $150 a week. This is in 1930.
Right.
Like I had no money. I was going to school part-time.
Right.
So I was on my side hustle trying to figure out like how I'm going to do this.
Right.
So I'm watching guys on the East Coast and these dudes with little labels and management companies, and I was like, well, I'm going to sign Will to a management agreement. So I think that's what I signed him to first. And then I met Will, then he introduced me to his crew, which was Appity App. And it wasn't Taboo.
It was Mookie.
Mookie.
Yeah. I still talk to Mookie.
Yeah. And he works for Will.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about Will is I think I'm the only dude that was part of the original guys that don't work for him.
They don't work for him now.
So obviously.
But you've done okay.
I've done okay.
Apparently.
I've done okay. Will was not only obviously incredibly successful, he's incredibly philanthropic, incredibly loyal to his friends and family.
Right.
He's just a wonderful, wonderful guy.
Yeah, man. Salt of the earth dude.
He really is.
I remember the first time I met Will, it was actually through you. It was me and Marquis, we were recording an EP at Audio Achievements.
Yeah.
You know, that was the Ruthless.
Was that when Will did the verse on the Christmas song? Do you know?
Yes.
So you want to hear it? Go ahead, finish your story.
Well, what I was going to say was that the first time I had met him is when you brought him to Audio Achievements during one of my sessions, and that was the first time he had ever been in like
a studio,
a real recording studio.
No, he was new.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like it was Merry Motherfucking Christmas.
Yeah.
And I think he dropped a verse, And I think Ab might have backed him, but I don't think they got their own verse. But I'll tell you a funny story. You know, that was a tough time, as you know, being signed to Ruthless.
Right.
That was kind of a dark period of Ruthless, those times, because they lost Cube.
Right.
And then they lost Dre. And Eazy signed a bunch of artists. And I think that was a period of time where we weren't clear what direction
we were going.
So Eric signed a lot of different artists, but I'll tell you.
I know he couldn't figure out how to work my record.
Right.
Because me and Marquis was so different.
Right.
And like you said, it was a dark time and things were changing that, the company didn't know which way to go, man.
So we signed to Ruthless.
Right.
I was their manager, and unfortunately, nobody ever really got them. I think Jerry said something funny, and it always stuck with me. He called them theatrical rappers. You know, Jerry always liked to sort of macro, but he had sort of, and in a way they were, because they put on a show.
Based on Jerry's
limited knowledge of really
of hip hop at the time. And for what he was working with, he's used to Above the Law and cocaine and all those guys. You know, you have Will.i.am and the Ant Band Clan. And it's like it's like a
that's another thing.
Circus rap or something.
They weren't Black Eyed Peas. They were Tribe Beyond a Nation.
Yeah.
Highly influenced by
Tribe Called Quest,
Jungle Brothers, De La. So you know,
the whole native tongue movement.
He just happened to be from East LA. Will.
Right.
So you know, and I can tell you some funny stories when I used to pick him up there and how much shit he would get for looking like he looked, living in some of these neighborhoods. But you know, at the time, you know, Eazy E was going through sort of a lot of changes. So I just remember coming around the office and catching heat from some of Eazy's homies. Jim Bob, Pat, you remember those guys?
I remember those guys.
So, you know, guys that he grew up with and that he trusted, that really were there for him, just like clowning these dudes. They used to call Bloods of Abraham.
Bloods of Abraham, yeah.
So they used to kind of clown a little bit. So I think the best thing that ever happened to Will, ever for his career, was he never came out on Ruthless 1.
Right.
He was able to develop his craft.
Right.
2, and 3, he struggled.
Right.
Because not that he didn't struggle growing up, but he struggled as an artist and being frustrated and making music and making music and making music and making music and making music. And then I used to frustrate the shit out of him.
Yeah, it sounded like you're beating up the mic.
Sorry, I used to frustrate the shit out of him because he'd make a record and then I'd play him a Far Side record or I'd play him this record and I'd go, listen how like professional, clear, and like how they compose this, and he would just go crazy.
You would drive him crazy with that.
But I wanted him to win.
You wanted the best for him.
And when he became successful, nobody patted me on the back. No one said shit, but I felt so good.
Listen, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here patting you on the back because I know you. And that's
you.
why I'm getting this for everybody out there. That's why I'm getting this because, you know, your story deserves to be heard, brother.
Thank you. Well, listen, you asked me to do this. I don't need affirmation from
Sure.
But I felt so good when I saw Will succeed on such an international level.
Right.
Not a lot of hip-hop artists have, like, look at his career. Tech, philanthropy, music.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day...
You got a restaurant to run. I know that's right.
At the end of the day, Yomo, the dude deserves it. I never saw somebody work like him. I remember one day he calls me. He probably wouldn't remember this, or he would, and said, I need to get a drum machine. I need to borrow money. What the fuck? You're not a producer.
Right.
He goes, yo, I'm having an issue with Motivate, or that was the guy he was working with.
I made tracks with Motivate. I remember Motivate.
So I need to get a drum machine. So I remember, like, we went somewhere, he got a drum machine. I don't know if it was an SP, whatever he got.
It's probably like an SP.
Right.
Because that was the thing at the time.
Right.
Wasn't nobody really using no MPCs at that time.
Right. And I had an SP personally, too.
Right.
But I might have even let him have mine, or no, I forget. So I just remember, Yomo, on like a Tuesday, he was buying instruments, and a week later was composing records, like, and they sounded amazing.
They sounded amazing.
And I get chills. I would go to the studio or with the apartment he was working at, and the dude was like, you couldn't even talk to him because he was so zoned out, clicking little buttons.
ADD, yeah.
But ADD was so much focus, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, he's a wonderful, wonderful guy, but he was born with a gift, but it doesn't matter. That guy worked harder than anybody I've ever seen. Anybody, Yomo, and never gave up. He would get clowned. He didn't care. He kept evolving. Changed the name to Black Eyed Peas. Brought in Fergie. You know, signed to Interscope. He just didn't stop.
Changed his name to will.i.am.
Instead of will.i.am.
Instead of will.i.am, right.
Because he wasn't like, it sounded Muslim, and he wasn't Muslim. And
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a proud moment for me. It's a proud moment because
it should be.
You know, I used to always think I worked really hard to make money. And of course I want to make money. But I think there's a part of me, that little short man's mentality of, I just want to be fucking right. And I want to be, and I was right. How many artists did I sign to Ruthless? One.
Will, right? That's the only artist you signed, right? Now, what did you do with Blood?
Manage.
You managed?
Epic.
Didn't you manage Will too?
Yeah.
But you didn't sign
Blood.
No. Okay.
So Blood of Abraham, if people are wondering, we should probably give them a little background, but Blood of Abraham had a production deal with Wolf and Epic.
Right. I remember that.
I don't know if Wolf was out or in, but with Epic, DJ Epic.
Yeah, I think Wolf was out.
Okay, so Epic, then they did a deal with Eric, Eazy, Ruthless. Right. And then, you know, they're a couple Jewish kids from the Valley, same exact age as me.
Right.
We got along, and I rallied hard to manage them. And they were meeting with people like Guy Osiri and Amanda Shear and all these huge managers and successful people.
Yeah, I remember all that.
And I just would like every week, like, come on, I need to manage you. Da-da. And they figured probably the best way for them to get what they want out of the label was to have me manage them.
Well, yeah.
And you know what? Listen, I worked really hard. They got our Arsenio Hall show. They got a college tour that I found the guy to book them on all these. We used to do these little.
I went to that Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah. Was that the one where Malcolm X? Not Malcolm X. Farrakhan was at?
I don't remember.
We did a show where Farrakhan, they booked Farrakhan of Blood of Abraham and Eazy, and it was cool. Yeah.
Wow. How many times did they play Arsenio Hall?
I want to say, I
only went once, so maybe they
I think
played
they only
twice.
did once, but I went there twice, and I forget if Eric was in both of the, but one for sure.
Yeah.
Remember when Eazy went out wearing a robe, and he had like the posters of Dre in the World Class Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And
Eazy
was like, so I forget when that had to have happened probably after. I forget. Man, there's a lot of stuff. And this ain't, we don't know each other for 20 years. We've known each other for like, 89 you signed to Ruthless. I was around. I wasn't working there. So that's 28 years ago.
28 years ago. We've been knowing each other almost 30 years.
That's nuts.
That's nuts.
It's a long time.
Mad nuts.
And we're not that old.
And right. So okay, so you started managing Blood of Abraham, and then you got into like video directing. Was it like Clever Films?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Or did it start out as Clever Management?
Good question. So Clever Sounds Management. And I always like the name Clever, and it's gonna sound corny as fuck. But I used to love reading books about gangsters, and I was reading a book by a guy named Meyer Lansky.
I know who Meyer Lansky
is. One of the most intelligent, smartest Jewish gangsters that worked with
Lucky Luciano.
All those guys.
It was him and Benny Siegel. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And Benny was a Jew too.
Yeah.
And they kept referencing him as a child as Clever Meyer. And because he was really good with numbers and math, and he would do like a lot of craps, and he knew all the odds.
Yeah.
So I just loved.
He ran the casinos in Cuba.
Later.
For the mob. Yeah.
But I just loved the name, and I was like, Clever. That's a dope name. I'm gonna call it Clever Sounds.
Right.
And then even today, I'm Clever Hospitality. So
get the fuck.
I've had so many different Clevers.
So many versions of
Clever Sounds. So what happened was, working at Ruthless, you know, people think like they were breaking me off some crazy amount of money, but I really was paid less money than the secretaries, than the drivers. I made the least amount of money there than anybody.
Right.
Jerry's attitude was, you're my fucking nephew / son.
Pretty much.
You're Eric's boy.
Right.
We can't treat you any different. And they actually went the opposite way.
On purpose.
Yeah, and it was a good lesson.
It built character.
It built character. You know what?
But you like, fuck that shit. Especially when you was in
shit.
He was like, man,
I'm coming in. You know how many times? Listen, $150 a week, plus they take taxes out.
Yeah.
I would show up so early every day. I would show up at 6, 7 in the morning. Just like this morning, I woke up at 5:15 and go to at the gym by 6.
Right.
Eazy would still be there from the night before with some girls.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck you doing here, man?
Yeah.
He would always ask me like, why are you here so early?
Yeah.
And I try to teach.
He was grinding.
I have 275 employees. I try
Whoa. How many employees you got?
275 and growing.
Oh man, look at you. Look at you. That's what's up.
I try to explain to people, when I was 18, 19 years old, no one told me I had to show up to work at a certain time. If you told me to be there at 8, I was there at 6. For me,
right.
I care about Jerry and Eric.
Right.
I wanted to do something with my life.
Right.
If people have to pull you into work and you don't have that hustle mentality,
they can't want it more than you want it for you.
Listen, man, people say this, make excuses. I when I see winners, I know a winner.
Right.
I didn't have to call will.i.am and say, get in the studio, man. Why are you smoking pot or drinking or doing this bullshit?
Right.
He was hustling me.
Right.
Like, I need this, I need studio time. This is why he's where he's at. And has he slowed down? Is he kicking up his feet in St. Bart's?
No.
Dude's grinding. He buttons.
Yeah.
People don't realize Beats by Dre is Will's.
It's Will's, I know.
His concept.
I know.
So this dude, he was gonna go 1,000%. He didn't need anyone to tell him. That's how I felt. So when I have to sit and lecture people that, hey, you're supposed to be at work at 9, but you're here at 9:06, it just tells me your character. People say, oh, it's not my company. Bullshit. That's not your company? Bullshit. I call bullshit on that.
Right.
What's your character?
Right.
Oh, so it's got to be your company to work hard?
To work hard?
Well,
if it's not yours, you don't want to work hard?
You're never going to have a company.
Right. Right.
If you can't work hard for someone else, which is a lot easier to work hard for yourself, they don't get it. Working hard for yourself. I've had one job.
Right.
For a year and a half working at Ruthless or whatever it was, 2 years, maybe. Not getting a check each week is a very, very tough thing to live life.
Right.
You either have the character and the discipline and the thick skin, or you don't.
Right.
But don't tell me you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to be a business owner and you can't show up to a job on time.
On time.
You're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about how hard you will work.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a great rapper. When I get a good producer, you're gonna hear it.
You're gonna hear it.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Will was freestyling and doing crazy stuff, banging on drum machines. It's all right. Your mic will survive. So at the end of the day,
I love this guy.
at the end of the day, the moral of the will.i.am story is hard work does matter. He wasn't always a good rapper. He wasn't always a good beat maker. He wasn't always a producer, but he worked. I'm telling you, I know Russell Westbrook. I know these guys. My son plays basketball. These guys don't, they're born athletic. Come on, man. Russell could not dunk a basketball till his senior year of high school. My son could dunk. He's a freshman.
Right.
So is he going to be Russell? No. But the point is, it's hard work, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, they have a saying that it goes, hard work beats talent when talent's not working.
All right.
That's basically what you just said.
So I don't even know. This is becoming like a Tony Robbins segment. But at the end of the day,
motivational speaking.
I always get in that rhetoric because I love to talk about business and entrepreneurship. But at the end of the day, what Ruthless taught us,
right?
And then when we'll get into the video producing and directing,
right?
There is no harder job in the world than working in the music business and hip hop. You know and I know.
For a fact.
There is nothing harder.
For a fact.
Everything is easy after that.
Right.
There was no better boot camp.
Right.
And I embraced it.
Right.
That's it. I loved every minute of it.
Right.
I don't regret anything.
I don't regret anything either.
I dropped out of college. I did a lot of things.
To make records.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, you asked me a question about video. So what happened was, being the person that I was and the impatient person, which now I've learned patience, because impatience early on in my career had done harm. I would be further along if I understood what patience really meant. Because at the end of the day, you know, when you're 19, you can't think about being 35.
Right. That's not even on the horizon.
So you just look at a very, very, very sliver of your life.
Right.
And you don't understand how to really build that mental wealth, that wealth with real estate. It's just a game you don't understand.
Yeah.
And as great of a mentor as Jerry was, I didn't have those kind of mentors in my life. I had different kind of mentors. Eric motherfucking Wright. Guys like that, like street dudes.
Right.
Which was a great mentorship.
Right.
But you know, patience is so important. But being the impatient prick that I am,
right.
Will introduced me to some USC film students because he wanted to do a video. He did a video called Puddles of H2O.
I remember that video.
Puddles of H2O. Hit pause, go check it out because I think it's on YouTube.
Right.
So Will comes to me and says, I need $1,000. Why? I'm doing this video. This is Will. He didn't wait for the label to tell him to do a video.
Right.
He didn't wait for me. He said, I'm doing this. I said, Will, fuck these, you know. Because I used to have a very, very negative sort of view.
Of what?
I was pessimistic. And we could talk about that in a bit. Because I changed.
Okay.
So Will said, I'm gonna do this video, meet these guys. I met the guys. He did a video. Incredible, $1,000.
USC students.
USC students, one recently graduated. So I call a meeting because the video really came out that good.
Right.
And now the wheels are turning.
Now the wheels are turning.
The wheels
right?
are turning.
The wheels are turning.
Now let's see. I work at a record label and we do videos all the fucking time. Okay, that could be another side hustle of mine.
Right.
I got my A&R bullshit check, which ultimately got up to $600 a week. I got my management thing, which cost me money.
Right.
And now I'm gonna be a director. But even before that, I meet these. I call a meeting. I say, "Wow, this is great," and this is what kind of really talented people, guys like Will, they connect so many dots, bro.
Right.
That it's amazing.
Right.
Their influence. Because we could play the family tree game
right.
on how many dudes are eating off of him, off of me and him.
Right.
So we do this. He does a video. I take no credit for it.
Right.
No credit. I love it, man. I was like, wow, this is creative as fuck.
Right.
I go to Jerry and Eric. I show it to them. I said, hey, Eric, I'm starting a production company. And I got these guys as my partner, Guy, and I'll go back to that story. And I want to do a video.
Right.
And Eric's like, what the fuck do you know about Eric? What's our next video? So he goes, well, we got this group, Bone Thugs and Harmony, which we all know.
Right.
And I want to do this little promo thing, like a little commercial that they used to play on like the box.
Yeah.
And all that. So I said, bet. What's the budget? He said, $3,000. Cool. I could do it for that. Not knowing if I could do it. I call these dudes up. I said, get your cameras, like you. Get your cameras. Meet me in Norwalk at Eazy's house. I need somebody to find oil, like one of those oil drums, because we're gonna light that shit on fire and have these dudes around there doing their like East 99 is where you're from. It's like so we did that.
Right.
I did this little promo.
You did that at the Norwalk house?
Yeah, in front of his house. It's just like a tight shot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in 25 years, so
right.
I'd like to just pull that shit up and just check it out. And it came out nice. And Eric said $3,000. They gave me $4,000, so I made a G. I was like, wow.
I'm a director now.
Not even then. I wasn't even quite a director. I didn't even think. I started to think about it. So this is what? They came out in 94, right? So maybe it's in 93, 94.
Yeah.
So now I'm like 20, 21. So I go, cool. Eric had another artist, Stefan.
Yeah.
He liked what I did.
Yeah.
So I produced that video.
Stefan's video.
Yeah, I didn't direct it. So I forget who directed it, but we had somebody direct it. We did it. I was at the set, and I was like, man, I could do this all day long. So then I did that, turned it in to Eric. He liked it, and I talked him into letting me direct Thuggish Ruggish Bone. And at the time, as you know, there was a lot of, that was what I would call like the dark period for Ruthless.
Yeah.
You know, it was really murky on which direction the company was. I remember a lot of people hating on Bone at the company. You can't understand these dudes. They got good melodies, but like, what the fuck, Cleveland? Yeah, people. Yeah. I'm telling you, I remember sitting in the meetings.
Yeah.
Like people didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I felt this. I wasn't there, but I felt the same damn way.
People weren't tripping on them at that time.
Yeah.
So we'd get our little passenger van. I'd pick up Lazy, Crazy, and Busy, and Wish and Flesh, or we're chasing them around Cleveland. We'd go to one house. Oh, he's at this person's house, and it was crazy, man. But we got the video done. It came out, and to my luck and benefit, it was a big hit. I get a call. I'm still working at Ruthless now.
Right.
I get a call from Leor Cohen, who was a partner and ran Def Jam Recordings.
Right.
Leor's like, man, I didn't know him. He knew Jerry Heller, Terry Heller, but I didn't know him. He called me and he goes, I got it. You know, he had this, have you ever met Leor?
No.
Crazy, like Israeli, like New York, like this weird kind of style of speaking, real tall dude. Come to New York, we have something for you. And I believe it was BG Knockout and Dre said they signed, right? Weren't they signed? No. It's the one that they dissed Snoop Dogg. What song was that from? When I did the video...
That's not Real Motherfucking G's?
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do Real Motherfucking G's? That's the only video I remember from them.
So they did a video, somehow Def Jam was involved. I directed it, it came out incredible.
Right.
And I started becoming a director. You know, I quit Ruthless, and now I'm a director, and I got my Clever Films.
Right.
I meet Brett Ratner. We formed some kind of joint production kind of partnership.
Right.
And started directing.
You still friends with Ratner?
Yeah. We just became friends. We got his whiskey over here.
Oh, he has his own whiskey?
Yeah.
You do a liquor.
Yeah, you do liquor. Then you get richer.
And then you get richer.
Right.
Because he has a Rat Pack Entertainment too, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else? I mean,
you tell me. I just talked a lot.
Tell me about your videos, man. I'm here to interview you. I don't do a lot of talking.
Right.
I do a lot of listening.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, listen, I did a lot of videos, made a lot of friends. I will tell you what the video business taught me more than anything was responsibility.
Right.
You'd get this budget, right?
Right.
Here's $100,000. You have to go produce this video.
Right.
You have to try to figure out how to leave some for your profit.
Right.
Manage a lot of people. So imagine being in your early 20s, having 60-year-old guys work for you. So for a long time, I didn't have the maturity for that. A lot of yelling, a lot of insecurities.
Sure.
But it really taught me a lot of good business life lessons and business acumen.
Right.
So, you know, I started my own production company after I started directing, and I signed other directors.
Right.
And then one of the directors I signed, I got him to do a little, before Will and Black Eyed Peas blew up, he did a little video for them, which created this dude's career.
What's his name?
I don't even want to talk about the guy.
Copy.
His name is Corny/Cornier.
Okay.
So, you know, so there was a lot of that.
Do I know him?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ben Moore, our friend from Blood of Abraham, our brother, huge director now. Will
one of my good friends.
Propel that.
Yep.
Ben also worked at my company, helped me out.
I know.
We did a Gangstar video, and he wrote the treatment for me. Rest in peace to Guru.
Rest in peace, Guru.
How many people are dead that we used to work with? Crazy, man.
Crazy.
L.A. Dre just died.
L.A. Dre just died? Oh, man.
You didn't see that?
I didn't see that.
L.A. Dre was an integral part to
he did all
the
that
Ruthless
Michelet
family.
stuff.
He did all Michelet's music.
Yeah.
Phenomenal keyboardist.
Yeah.
Great guy, yeah.
Yeah.
That tripped you out a little bit.
That tripped me out, man.
Yeah.
That did trip me out. You know what? I want to get into... I know y'all ain't going to even see this coming, but watch this. Tell me about the beef you got with Raekwon, the chef from the Wu-Tang Clan.
I don't have a beef.
You got beef, Terry. Come on.
I don't have a beef with Raekwon.
All right, well, tell the story any damn way.
So I directed a video for Ghostface called All I Got Is You. And that's the one that he's in the middle of a street and he's playing piano. And I was very proud of that video because I took this dude, Ghostface is like rough and rugged, and put him in front of a piano, faking like he's playing and trying to be all R&B'd out. So, you know, there was a little shot where we had Raekwon and RZA, I forget who else, maybe, whatever the other dudes are there, You God, Deck, whoever. It says, yo, son, just make sure you know, something like, you don't make me look corny, like, give me a good look. And I said, okay. Whatever that means. And that shit happened all the time, whatever, people threatening me, whatever.
Right.
So, come through. So I get the video, I'm dealing with the record label, I forget what label he was on, and I was dealing with RZA. RZA was very involved with, you know, the editing and sort of, you know, I was communicating with RZA. So the video comes out, it was like, remember they had like Video of the Week? I mean, it did well. I don't know how well the song did, but the video got a lot of love. I got a lot of work off that video.
Right.
So RZA calls me and says, hey man, come to the studio. They're in the valley somewhere. And I want to talk to you about some other things I got going on. Because I ended up doing like an Inspect the Deck video. I had a good relationship with RZA. He was cool.
Right. You did a lot of work for the Wu, huh?
No, not a lot.
Not a lot.
I did a Deck video and that Ghostface.
And then Ghostface, okay, so just two projects, okay.
So I go to the studio and I forget, like I paged him. I forget what kind of means of communication we had. So I was sitting like in the little lobby waiting for him to come out. And I'm sitting on the couch. And Raekwon walks out and looks at me and does a double take. And he keeps walking.
Right.
He didn't say what's up. It was like awkward. I felt some weird way about the interaction. And then he comes back and he comes up to me and goes, yo man, I told you not to fucking do this shot, and starts screaming at me. And he's like, I'm just like, hey. So I'm listening to him and I'm sitting on the couch, he's standing. I never felt like it was gonna get violent or anything, but I'm thinking like, all right, shit's gonna get down. By the way, there's a bunch of dudes there, me.
Right.
It's a whole studio full, you know, it's a Wu-Tang, so there's all kinds extended
30
guys.
motherfuckers up in there.
Right, whatever. So he's talking and screaming at me, whatever, and I was like, look, Ray, and then I pissed him off. I said, you should go talk to your boss, RZA, and ask him.
Oh no, why you say that? Why you say that, man?
We're ruthless. I don't care.
Ruthless.
If I was gonna take a beating, I was gonna take my
beating.
Then he says to me, which was super weird, I'm gonna go get dirty. I'm coming back with dirty. And I'm thinking, he needs backup?
Right.
Oh, one of the things he said to me was hilarious. He said, I'm gonna hang you from your toenails and let the money fall out of your pockets. Like he started busting off like lyrics to me. And he figured like, oh, I'm some corny white Jewish kid.
Right.
And I was just giving it back to him.
Right.
So now he goes to get dirty.
Go and get dirty.
And I'm thinking like, do I gotta now start calling people or what's about to go down? I sat there for like 10 more minutes. Nobody came out, and then RZA came out. And
hold on, let me ask you something. If you was gonna call somebody, who was you gonna call?
You know we've got people, dude.
Who's you gonna call? Mike D?
I got a lot of guys.
I know we do.
So, but I wasn't even like, I'm not even that kind of guy. Like let's just do it.
Right.
Let's go right now.
Right.
Beat me up, or I'll beat you up.
One of the two.
One of the two. So anyways, whatever, he's screaming at me, he goes off. And then 10, 15 minutes later, RZA comes out. Oh, what's up, Terry? Like nothing happened. I didn't even say anything. And we go back into the studio and we start talking about like the Deck video. And that was like,
and that was the end of that.
So I wouldn't call that a big beef.
But you and Ray had momentary issue.
He had the issue.
Yeah, it sounds like he had the issue.
So
shout out to Ray.
Shout out to Ray, whatever. What's he up to?
Well, man, he's still doing music. Still putting out records.
Listen, he's an incredibly talented guy.
Yeah, I just saw him do something with Eazy E.
Maybe he had a rough day.
Maybe he had a rough day that day.
Fortunately, it didn't get rougher for him.
Yeah, yeah. So what's on the horizon for you now, man? Just doing the restaurants and.
You know, first and foremost, I'm a father. You know, I have 3 children, 15, 12, and 10.
Good looking kids too. I
Thank
met
you.
them.
Amazing looking, great children. My youngest daughter is an equestrian horse fanatic, so every weekend we have horse shows. My middle daughter is.
Because you're rich, right?
It's not even about money, man.
It is.
My middle daughter does track, and she works out with me at my gym. You know, I've done kickboxing and these kind of things for a long time. Very passionate about that.
Right. So you can whoop a motherfucker ass, basically what you're saying.
I'm not saying that, but
if it came down to it,
no, I'm not saying that either.
Ass,
but
right?
I'm not going to ever turn away. You know.
Well, Terry, you never turned away anyway. Like you wasn't doing the kickboxing when you got into that little issue with Raekwon, and you was ready to.
I was training then.
Oh, you was training then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But whatever. I mean, look. At the end of the day, I'd rather just take the beating.
Right.
And I have before.
Right.
And you know what my trainer does to me in the gym, most dudes can't do to me anyways.
Right.
So whatever, you know. And I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You know, I had an issue with MD one time. Mike Direct. Mike.
You did?
Yeah. Hold on. When I said an issue,
as big as he is, you had issue with that dude?
He had
issue with you.
He threw me literally 20 feet. You could ask Keisha.
I believe you.
Threw me 20 feet because I popped off to him. We're speaking in code right now, but MD was a bodyguard at Ruthless.
Right.
And everybody, you know, when people talk about big guy, everybody knows a big guy. This guy's on some other level.
Yeah, big. He was an ex-football player, bigger than me.
Much bigger.
Much bigger.
He had 24, 25-inch arms.
Yeah.
And was trained to hurt people.
Yeah.
And would hurt people and did hurt people.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, we had a little issue. He popped off to one of my friends, you know, trying to intimidate him. And I just wasn't going for it.
You wasn't having it. You was having a rough day that day, and you wasn't having it, huh?
It wasn't even I had a rough day. What are you doing? This is Greg, my friend that comes here once a week.
Yeah.
From El Camino.
Yeah.
Who's my size.
Right.
He's not runner. He's not Suge.
Yeah.
He's not gonna run up on anybody.
Right. So why you?
You don't need to come up like, who you here to see? So that's what happened, and I told him to back off, and he said, what?
He
I said,
like that
fuck
shit.
you.
Oh shit.
And he grabbed me and went like this. And I'm not gonna get it twisted. There ain't nothing I can do to this guy except put a hole in him. Because and that would be scary.
Yeah.
Like
and even that
he's like it would just like bounce
off. Bounce off of him. Real talk.
People
Real
don't
talk.
even know like
Yeah.
This guy
MD, yeah, for sure.
I've never seen
for
it.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of big guys, but he was fit and big and wore those glasses and had that jaw. Like he should have been like, I think he tried. Like he could have been like a Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He was The Rock before The Rock was The Rock.
He makes Rock look like a girl. Come on, man.
Damn.
Come on, he's that
That's
big.
a tall order right there, buddy.
How heavy was Mike? 290?
Easily, and of solid muscle.
290 and lean.
When you walked into the Ruthless offices, oh my God.
He was like 6'5",
Yup.
6'6", and he was just scary.
Yeah.
He had, you know, but we had a great relationship.
Yeah.
And as time sort of evolved, he always had my back. If I had a little issue at my high school, someone wanted to beat me up, or so like 30 dudes wanted to beat me up one time. Him and Animal were always there for me. So you know, I miss him. I don't even know where he's at, but I do love that guy because you know, I used to train with him. I trained with some of the other. There was one dude, Greg. I think his name was Greg. That was a martial artist. So for about 6 months, he'd come to, when I lived with Jerry on Wellesley, he'd come over and we would train.
So you've been training, you've been doing this.
Yeah, I'm not like great or anything, but
you've been doing this for a long time.
I enjoy it.
Doing this for a long
I enjoy it. I have
so you do that every day, right?
No, I do. I work out every day, but I kickbox twice a week. But like spar, you know.
Sure.
But for me, listen, I got short man's complex. I always say that. So, you know, you always thinking someone, you know, growing up, people fucking with you because you're small. Come through, it's okay. People thinking you're small. So, you know, by the way, if you're a big guy, the same thing happens because dudes want to test you.
Because you big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can come. It's okay. It's okay.
You come this way. You come this way.
Okay.
Man.
Don't worry
It's all
about
good.
it. We have a
Apparently.
real business going on here. We're about to open.
We had a restaurant, folks. So
I need to make money.
He needs to make more money.
Pay for horse lessons and you know.
You just got back from Hawaii.
You just got back from
How
Hawaii.
was that? Did you have a good time?
Oh man, it was. My wife was working.
What does she do? Is she in the business? Is she a producer or?
We met because she was a commercial, mainly a commercial producer.
Oh, okay.
She produced commercials, and somebody introduced us. And like, first of all, like I fell in love with the woman, but I was like, hey, we should start a company together. So that we started a company together. We had a bunch of directors. So the last couple of years, she slowed down with raising the kids, but now she's back to producing. She's on a job now.
Oh, that's cool.
She's produced for Apple. She's won a Grammy. I don't know if you know that.
Wow, look at you. So you actually have the statue at home?
Yeah. She won for Bad Romance, Lady Gaga. She produced that video.
Wow.
And she was nominated. I think I'm more proud of this for that video by Brian McKnight, Back to One. That plane crash.
Yeah.
One, it's like a dream come true.
Yeah, I remember the song.
So
she produced that video?
So she got.
Wow.
So I guess the nominees got like a little medal. I had it framed. But she has a statue at home.
That's dope.
If you look at my Instagram, Terry_Heller,
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere on there.
Go check that out, y'all. I'm not checking for that shit, but go check that shit out.
And then how many people watch this shit? I hope it's more than 3. You better have some viewership. Because I'm doing this for free, one, because of our relationship. Oh, you are? Okay.
Me too.
All right, what else are we going to talk about? Am I going to get a call from Raekwon?
You know what? Once this episode airs, I don't know, man.
Give him my number.
I'll give him your number.
And my address.
I'll give him your number. But man, Terry, it was dope, man. Seeing you and talking to you,
There's got to be something else we could talk about. I mean, we didn't really cover that much.
Well, listen. We covered
We didn't
history.
talk about my uncle.
Wow. You know what? God bless him. He
Rest
just
in
passed.
peace.
I didn't want to bring that up.
Well, look,
But
I'll
you're
bring it
comfortable-
up.
If you're comfortable with that,
Man,
then yeah, let's get into it.
you know me.
Let's get into it. I was just trying to, have respect for you and yours. I didn't know if you wanted to do that, but let's do that.
I do, because at the end of the day, I loved him.
Yeah, you still. Let me just ask this question: is the family still feeling a certain way about his portrayal
Yes.
in the movie?
Yeah. Yes.
You guys are not happy about that. Everybody knows
You know
that.
what?
And
Hold on.
And you're just not happy about
Let
that.
me rewind that answer.
ahead.
I think the movie made him look really positive. I
think so too. And we're talking about Straight Outta Compton, folks.
Paul Giamatti is a phenomenal character, but he was a phenomenal actor.
Sure.
But that was not Jerry. Jerry was not a short, schlubby guy that kind of came off like a hick.
Yeah.
Jerry was polished.
Yeah, Jerry was like 6'5" or
Nah, 6'3".
6'3", okay.
See, that's Jerry, because he was a larger than life character.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You think he's taller.
I thought he was big, yeah.
We would be in a restaurant, and he'd walk into a room, and people would just look at him.
Let me guess what restaurant? Monty's?
Monty's, Dantana's, Ivy at the Shore.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
All the
Jerry
old
had
school
this.
haunts. Yeah.
Jerry had this aura and charisma about himself.
Uh-huh.
That So I think that the casting was off.
Sure.
They didn't even have the right glasses that Jerry wore every day of his life,
Right.
that are now sitting in his casket with him.
With him.
The Porsche glasses.
Sure.
All right.
I was there, remember?
He had different shades,
Yeah.
colors.
But the frames was the same.
Now people are rocking those like they're fly. He was fly before.
Before Fly was Fly, right?
So Jerry
Yeah,
was
that's
just
my
a
man.
character, man.
My
We used to
man.
go to Newport Beach. That's what was one of our places, in Laguna Beach.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize Jerry never had children.
You were the son he never had.
Eazy and I was.
Yeah.
So we would travel a lot together, and we've been to Italy, Bahamas, all over the country, New York, Miami. But we would go to little call them like staycations close by.
Sure.
And we would drive down to Newport because they had a Nautica store. And Jerry was rocking Nautica. Remember that?
Of course I remember that.
Yo, they would
With
literally
the collar flipped up, son.
collar flipped up on some like sailor shit.
Yeah.
Before
That was my man,
Grand
yo.
Poobah.
Yeah. Can I just say this about
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yeah.
Let me just say this for everybody out there. I'm a member of the Ruthless family, obviously, one of the founding members.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. You were signed to Ruthless, one of the early members, early artists. And what people don't realize about Yomo, and I'm going to say it here.
Give it to him, T.
He named NWA.
And Ruthless Records.
And Ruthless Records. Right here.
Right here.
And I heard that from Eazy motherfucking E.
So the inception of NWA, how did you even all come up with the name NWA?
Well, that came from a friend of mine. His name was Yomo. We were actually outside of Lonzo's house, standing in the street, and we were trying to come up with a name for the group. And this guy just said, out of nowhere, niggas with attitudes. You know what I mean? And took it back to Eazy, Cube, and they loved it. And the story goes on.
When I hear people talk about Ruthless and I go to social media and I got some dude sitting across from me and he's telling me the stories,
Yeah.
I look at them like they're fucking stupid.
Oh, all the time.
Because this is not hearsay.
Yeah.
I was there the first time Suge Knight came into the office
Right.
with a bunch of dudes,
Right.
bunch of Bloods.
Right.
I was there for all of this shit.
Yeah.
So I don't talk, like when people ask me specific questions, if I wasn't even there, I don't really answer them. If I saw it with my own eyes, that's fact to me.
Right.
So don't, we were there.
We were there.
So, I could tell you so much. I know so much. I know so much about everybody. Cube, this, that, the little inner workings. I was there when Dre said he was leaving. There.
Right.
So, people have to realize that we lived it.
For sure.
It wasn't like, hey, Jerry comes home, I come home from school, and he tells me a story.
No,
I fucking was
you
there.
was in the office.
The
Yeah.
one thing we didn't mention is,
Right.
as corny as he was cool.
He was cool.
He was him. He was his own style.
Yeah.
He never tried to be a hip hop guy.
Yeah.
He came in with his white ass hair. He's had white hair. I think he was born with white hair.
Born with white hair.
I don't ever remember Jerry with anything with white hair.
Yeah.
And he grayed real early.
Right.
And he kind of brushed it back and wore his glasses and popped his collar and wore. Oh, so I'll tell you a story about Nautica. We would go to Fashion Island in Newport
Right.
Beach.
Right.
They had a Nautica there. And right when Nautica was popping off, and I don't even know what year this is, maybe 89, 90. I don't fact check, but
Right.
somewhere in there.
Right.
He would go in there and spend $10,000 on Nautica.
On Nautica gear?
And then have me rock a Nautica. I didn't even want the Nautica.
I remember all that Nautica you used to rock, sir.
And then Jerry got me Porsche glasses. He wanted me mini Jerry. I wore those things for like a week. I was like, this is not me. I slicked my hair back.
I was about to ask you, did you slick your hair back?
I have a couple pictures.
Uh-huh.
Here, dude, let me show you this shit. Like, this is a picture of when you follow me on social, right?
Yeah.
So let me show you this. This was kind of that era. So I was still in high school, mind you guys.
Right.
Where's this picture of me and Dre?
Oh, you got a picture with you and Dre too?
Yeah, with my hair. Like, I was graduating high school, and Dre came over.
To the house in Calabasas?
No. We're
To the
Westlake, bro.
Oh, you're still
this
at
is
Westlake.
before.
Yo, you know what? While you looking for that, what I wanted to say was that,
Oh, right here. And you could probably pop it up on the vid. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at me.
Oh shit.
Look at that. This is my graduation, and Dre came by and gave me
slick back like Pat Riley.
and gave me like a bill, like gave me something.
Oh,
like,
that's dope.
And
That's dope.
here's the funny shit. Look at all these likes, but here's the funny shit. Somebody wrote in here. Look at Jerry with the JJ Fad picture in the back.
Right.
And the funny shit is, somebody writes here. The funny thing about this picture, you look more gangster than Dre. Look at me and look at Dre.
It's true. Wow. It's true. It's true.
Yo, we didn't talk about. Dre used to call me back in this era when he lived in like Oak Park, Westlake, when we all lived out there. I used to roll up to his house on my bike and we'd go. Did he have a Nissan Pathfinder? Do you remember that? He had like a basic SUV. Does that ring a bell?
No,
or a
wait.
Ford Explorer or something?
Wait, where was he living?
Remember, the DOC lived, Dre and Eric. And
that was in Calabasas, right?
Westlake.
No, dude, Dre had a Benz or something.
No, he didn't have that then.
He didn't have that then?
This is the first house I think he bought.
So he blew his load on his house. And
No,
his
I
car
didn't say
was,
he blew his load. He just had like a regular car. And I'll never forget. What year did Above the Law come out?
89.
So I'm in high school.
Yeah.
And this so had to be 88. So maybe I didn't have my license quite yet.
Right.
So I would go to his house and he'd play me Above the Law and he would literally, what do you think about this record? Well, I'd give him my notes. And what I figured out years later was, he's a fucking genius. I'm a little white kid living in the suburbs. I don't know anything about, I know some street guys.
Right.
But he wanted to hear my feedback. Why? Because who's buying the records?
The little white kids from the suburbs.
Right.
Right.
He knew that.
He knew that.
He liked me. He wanted, I was cool.
Right.
I was safe. I was a good dude. I was
Right.
easy, you know.
Yeah.
But he wanted, and we'd sit for an hour. He'd play me shit in his car. Play me this record, the DOC.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and he would listen to me, and I would say to him, I don't like this. I don't like, yeah, this
You was
is
A&R when you didn't even know you was A&R.
I was just, you know what? If you were to put out a record right now, you go get my son Julian, who's 15, self-taught guitarist. He's all into indie rock and all that. You let him tell you what the record's good.
Right.
Not a bunch of record executives that are out of touch.
That are out of touch.
This is why Dre was on some other shit before people were on shit.
Right.
This seems like, that's obvious. This shit wasn't obvious in 88.
It wasn't.
Everybody thinks like this is obvious. No.
Yeah, it's like he was just Dr. Dre, like just, and now, you know, it's obvious.
Here's another guy, and you know, I didn't know him. We stayed in contact somewhat. I did a video for him for King T. But here's a guy. Did he ever stop working?
King T?
No, Drake.
No.
He was the hardest working dude
Hardest working man
ever.
in show business. Yeah, for sure.
Why?
For sure.
Why? You think he just got lucky?
Nah, listen,
Did he do any records for you?
like commercial releases
No.
for me?
Did he produce any of your albums?
No.
Did
No.
you ever work with him in the studio?
On like demo shit. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Marquis has a couple of things, right? Some, like demos that we did with Dre, right? Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
feel like when you were in the studio, did you feel something different with him? Looking back, or did he just feel like
Versus what?
another guy? Just something special?
No.
You didn't.
He was just another guy. He was basically the only producer that I knew, and like, nigga, you just produced straight out of Compton, like you know, a hard ass record putting the West Coast on the map. So he was kind of just like that guy, but it wasn't like I'm in the presence of greatness.
Because
right
when
now.
I was
Not even close.
when I was with Will, I always felt something about the guy.
Did you feel like you was in the presence of greatness though?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, in the making. Yeah.
Wow.
Always,
Okay.
always. I get chills
Okay.
thinking about it.
That's so
I
dope,
always
Terry.
knew. I knew that about Eazy early on. And speaking of greatness, you know, and we started talking about Jerry, and we went on a tangent on some other shit. I'll never forget when Jerry met Eazy for the first time.
Were you there?
No, I was not there. But I remember Jerry coming back, because I'm a kid, playing me, I don't know if it was on cassette, it was on fucking vinyl, but playing me the record and saying, you hear this? This is gonna change music. I just saw the future.
Wow.
He had World Class Wrecking Crew, Rodney O. Joe Cooley,
Right.
LA Dream Team,
Right.
The Egyptian Lover.
Right.
So you understand, right? So what is that? Kind of techno-y dance?
Yeah, it was like that was LA sound at the time.
And I guess like,
dance.
would you call like the World Class Wrecking Crew sort of like the Temptations of the era for R&B music? Kind of like they all sequenced out and they kind of like did they
Yeah.
dance? I never saw them perform.
Yeah, I never saw them perform either. But as far as like just
Did you
visually-
know about them when they were out back in the day?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you go to like Eve After Dark and all that bullshit?
No, I was too young.
Got it.
I was too young.
Right.
Those
People
guys
don't
were
realize how
always
old Dre is.
Yeah.
You know? Dre's
Yeah.
what? 52, 53,
Yeah,
54?
Dre is 5 years older than me.
So that doesn't tell us anything. So
Well,
what is that?
That means he's older than me. I'm not going to give him my age.
Just type it into the internet. It's all
Right.
there.
Right.
So, Jerry, you know, I don't give a shit what anyone wants to say. You know, Jerry was never sued. by any of these guys.
That's the point. And that's what I was going to say. Let me say this about Jerry for myself.
Yeah, look into the cameras.
What I was going to say is this. You know, I come from Ruthless, and it seems like everybody on Ruthless, for the most part, seems like has some sort of issue with Jerry Heller. I never had an issue with Jerry Heller. Jerry was always good to me. This is a guy that I could call and ask for money, and he knew damn well he wasn't recouping any of this money back, yet he would always give me the money. And that's what I got to say about that dude. You know what I'm saying? He was just nothing but good to me. You're going to sit there and be on social media during my
social
podcast?
media. I'm handling business, man. Hold on one second. Family comes first. This is actually not business. It's family business.
All right. Well, no, it's good. Because you know what? I just want to cut this right here anyway.
Yo, we could talk for hours, but here's this. Jerry Heller, rest in peace. At some point in time, the real story will come out.
Right.
And when I say the real story, this dude deserves a star on the Walk of Fame.
Sure.
This dude doesn't deserve to be disparaged. You know, we know Cube.
Right.
You know him better than I do.
Right.
But we know him. We know Cube is an incredible talent.
Right.
But he's a marketing guy.
Right.
So it's very convenient when you leave one of the biggest rap groups of all time to pin it on somebody, right?
Yeah.
So we can get into that at another time. But, you know, if it wasn't for Jerry, a lot of these guys, I don't think...
Nothing would exist.
Now, I wouldn't say that because we don't know. But I'll say this. I do feel like it would be different.
Right. It would be different.
Because I was there when Jerry would put it on speaker and play it over the phone for big executives or go into meetings with the biggest the Clive Davises of the world.
Right.
The biggest record guys, and they would look at Jerry and say, "Are you doing drugs again?" Legitimately, laugh him out of the room.
Wow.
Boys in the what?
Wow.
They're called what? NWA
Wow.
stands for what? No.
Wow.
What are you doing? And Jerry said no. And Jerry did more for exposing what goes on. He was a big advocate and believer in civil rights. What was going on in the neighborhoods, we saw it. We saw how Eazy was treated in Calabasas and Westlake.
Right.
I would be with Eazy, we get pulled over all the time.
Right.
And Eric would always be like, "Oh, we're fine because you're here."
Right.
And they would just fuck with him. What do you call it? DWB, Driving While Black. Are we out of film?
No, we're not on film. How we good? We good? We good? But anyway, we're gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it there.
All right.
We're gonna cut it there. Hey, brother.
Love you, man.
Love you too. If it ain't certified, it ain't this. Peace.
Hey yo, my quality control captivates your party patrol. Your mind, body, and soul. For who the bell tolls, like the rhythm explode. Big, bad, and bold.